Winston Churchill was born in 1874 into British aristocracy, but privilege did not guarantee greatness. As a young boy, he was considered stubborn and unfocused. His academic record was uneven. Even his father doubted whether he would achieve anything remarkable. But Churchill possessed something more powerful than natural brilliance: relentless ambition. He pursued danger early, not merely as duty, but as destiny. Cuba, India, Sudan, South Africa. He served as both soldier and war correspondent, writing vivid accounts of battles he personally fought in. His dramatic escape during the Boer War transformed him into a national celebrity. By his early 30s, Churchill entered politics. Bold, energetic, and fearless in debate, he rose quickly, and then came the First World War. When World War I erupted in 1914, Churchill was appointed First Lord of the Admiralty, one of the most powerful positions in Britain. He pushed aggressively for naval modernization and believed bold action would shorten the war. But boldness can become overreach. In 1915, Churchill championed the Gallipoli Campaign, an ambitious plan to seize control of the Dardanelles, defeat the Ottoman Empire, and open a supply route to Russia. The operation failed catastrophically. Poor planning, logistical chaos, and fierce resistance led to devastating casualties. Thousands of Allied soldiers died on the beaches of Gallipoli. Churchill was blamed. Public opinion turned. Political allies distanced themselves. He was forced to resign. For a man driven by ambition, this was humiliation. But instead of disappearing, Churchill did something extraordinary. He enlisted and served on the Western Front as a battalion commander in the trenches of France. He experienced firsthand the mud, artillery, and relentless brutality of modern warfare. Gallipoli scarred him, politically and personally, but it also hardened him. He learned the cost of overconfidence. He learned the weight of command. He learned that war was not theory, it was blood. After the war, he returned to politics, but his reputation remained complicated. Some saw him as visionary, others saw him as reckless. By the 1930s, when he began warning about Adolf Hitler and Nazi rearmament, many dismissed him, remembering Gallipoli. To them, he was the man who had once gambled and lost. They did not yet realize that he had also learned from that loss. And when the next war came, he would not hesitate again. In May 1940, Britain faced catastrophe. Germany invaded Western Europe with terrifying efficiency. The British Expeditionary Force was trapped at Dunkirk. France was collapsing. The Prime Minister resigned, and Churchill, controversial, imperfect, battle-scarred Churchill, was chosen to lead. He inherited a nightmare. The army had lost equipment. Allies were surrendering. An invasion of Britain seemed imminent. Inside his war cabinet, some argued that Britain should negotiate with Hitler. Churchill refused, not because victory was guaranteed, but because surrender, he believed, would mean the end of democratic civilization in Europe. He understood something essential. Wars are fought with weapons, but won with will. So he spoke. "I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat." He did not promise comfort. He promised struggle. When the Luftwaffe bombed London during the Blitz, citizens expected leaders to remain hidden in bunkers. Churchill walked through destroyed neighborhoods. He stood among rubble. He visited the wounded, cigar in hand, hat firmly placed, a visible symbol of defiance. Behind the scenes, he built crucial alliances. He worked tirelessly to secure support from President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Through Lend-Lease, American resources became Britain's lifeline, even before the United States formally entered the war. After 1941, when Hitler invaded the Soviet Union, Churchill formed a strategic alliance with Joseph Stalin. Despite profound ideological differences, he was pragmatic. He knew survival required unity. Churchill made controversial decisions. Some of his wartime policies remain debated and criticized. But in the defining question of 1940, surrender or resist, he never wavered. And that unwavering stance bought Britain time. Time for America to enter the war. Time for industry to mobilize. Time for momentum to shift. In 1944, Allied forces landed in Normandy. The long road back had begun. In May 1945, Germany surrendered. The war in Europe was over. Churchill stood before cheering crowds. A nation that once doubted him now hailed him as the leader who carried them through annihilation. Yet democracy can be ironic. Just weeks after victory, Churchill lost the general election. The British people, exhausted by war, voted for domestic reform over wartime leadership. He stepped down peacefully. No bitterness, no attempt to cling to power. In 1951, he returned once more as Prime Minister. Older, slower, but still respected. However, the world had changed. The British Empire was fading. A new global order was emerging, shaped by the United States and the Soviet Union. Churchill gradually withdrew from political life. His health declined. Strokes weakened him, but his mind, the mind that had once rallied a nation, remained sharp longer than his body allowed. In 1953, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for his historical writings and speeches, a rare honor for a wartime leader whose words had once been weapons. On January 24, 1965, at the age of 90, Winston Churchill died in London. The nation that he had once inspired fell silent. His funeral was one of the largest state ceremonies in British history. Leaders from around the world attended. Cranes along the River Thames lowered their arms in salute as his coffin passed, a final gesture of respect from a country he had refused to let fall. He was buried at Blaydon, near his birthplace. History's judgment of Churchill remains complex. To some, he was a defender of freedom. To others, a symbol of imperial stubbornness and controversial wartime policies. But one truth remains unshaken. In 1940, when surrender seemed rational, when fear was overwhelming, when defeat felt inevitable, he chose defiance. He was not perfect. He was not universally admired. But in the hour that mattered most, he stood firm. Winston Churchill did not win the war alone. No single person could. But without his voice, without his refusal, without his unwavering belief that Britain must fight on, the story of the 20th century might have unfolded very differently. And when his voice finally fell silent, it had already echoed through history. That is why the world still remembers the lion who refused to bow. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below who you want next.